Saladin, a name that echoes through history, evokes images of chivalry, military brilliance, and righteous conquest. Born Yusuf ibn Ayyub in 1137, Saladin's early life was steeped in the turbulent politics of the Middle East. His family of Kurdish descent served the powerful Zengid rulers, who were locked in a struggle for dominance against the Crusaders and other Muslim factions. Growing up in the shadow of war, young Saladin developed a keen understanding of military strategy and leadership. He honed his skills under the tutelage of his uncle, Shirkuh, a renowned general. Shirkuh's campaigns in Egypt exposed Saladin to the complexities of warfare and the importance of political maneuvering. In 1169, fate intervened. Shirkuh, having secured control of Egypt, died suddenly. The mantle of leadership fell upon the young Saladin, who, at the age of 32, found himself thrust into a position of immense power and responsibility. This unexpected turn of events marked the beginning of Saladin's meteoric rise. He quickly consolidated his power, shrewdly navigating the treacherous landscape of Egyptian politics and earning the loyalty of the army. With each passing day, the name Saladin became synonymous with strength, ambition, and a deep devotion to Islam. Egypt, under the Fatimid Caliphate, had grown decadent and weak. Saladin, a devout Sunni Muslim, saw an opportunity to not only solidify his own power, but also to unite the fractured Muslim world under a single banner. He abolished the Shia Fatimid Caliphate, aligning Egypt with the Sunni Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. This bold move sent shockwaves through the region, establishing Saladin as a major force in the Muslim world. Saladin's ambitions extended far beyond the borders of Egypt. He understood that to truly challenge the Crusader states, he needed to unite the Muslim forces that were often fragmented and prone to infighting. Through a combination of diplomacy, strategic alliances, and military might, Saladin began the arduous task of uniting the Muslim world. He extended his influence into Syria, capturing Damascus and Aleppo, important centers of power. His campaigns were not merely about territorial conquest, they were about consolidating power and uniting the Muslim world against a common enemy, the Crusader states that had taken root in the Holy Land. Saladin's leadership qualities were evident in his ability to inspire his followers. He was known for his piety, justice, and courage, qualities that resonated deeply with his troops and the people he ruled. His reputation as a just and righteous leader spread far and wide, attracting scholars, poets, and warriors to his cause. Saladin's efforts to unite the Muslim world were not without their challenges. Rival Muslim rulers, suspicious of his growing power, often resisted his overtures. Yet Saladin persevered, using a combination of diplomacy and military force to bring them under his banner. He understood that a divided Muslim world was vulnerable to the Crusader threat. His campaigns were characterized by a deep understanding of strategy and logistics. He recognized the importance of controlling key trade routes and fortifications, allowing him to maintain supply lines and outmaneuver his enemies. Saladin also invested in developing a powerful and disciplined army, recognizing that military strength was essential to achieving his goals. By 1187, Saladin had achieved what had eluded Muslim rulers for decades. He had united most of the Muslim world under his command. From Egypt to Syria, his empire stood as a formidable bulwark against the Crusader states. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of the Holy Land. The Crusader states, aware of the growing Muslim threat, were not passive observers. In 1187, a Crusader army, led by Guy of Lusignan, the King of Jerusalem, marched out to confront Saladin's forces. What followed was a battle that would forever alter the course of the Crusades. The Battle of Hattin, fought on July 4, 1187, was a masterpiece of military strategy. Saladin, understanding the importance of water in the arid terrain, lured the Crusader army into a trap. The Crusaders, parched and exhausted, were routed. It was a devastating defeat, and Guy of Lusignan was captured. Hattin was more than just a military victory, it was a symbolic triumph. The capture of the True Cross, a Christian relic of immense significance, sent shockwaves through Christendom. The defeat at Hattin left the Crusader states vulnerable, their defenses shattered. Section 5 Jerusalem regained a triumph of faith. With the Crusader forces in disarray, Saladin moved swiftly to capitalize on his victory. He laid siege to Jerusalem, the most prized city in the Holy Land, sacred to both Muslims and Christians. After a brief siege, the city's defenders, recognizing the futility of resistance, surrendered. On October 2nd, 1187, Saladin entered Jerusalem in triumph. Unlike the brutal Crusader conquest of Jerusalem in 1099, which was marked by widespread bloodshed, Saladin's victory was remarkably restrained. He allowed the Christian inhabitants to leave the city unharmed after paying a ransom. The capture of Jerusalem was a defining moment in Saladin's reign. It solidified his image as a hero of Islam, a champion of the faith who had liberated the holy city from Christian rule. The news of Jerusalem's fall sent shockwaves through Europe, igniting calls for a new crusade. Section 6. The Lionheart roars, Richard I enters the fray. The fall of Jerusalem galvanized Europe into action. Determined to reclaim the Holy Land, European rulers led by Richard I of England, Philip II of France and Frederick I, Holy Roman Emperor, launched the Third Crusade. Richard I, known as Richard the Lionheart, emerged as the driving force behind this new Crusader army. Richard I was a formidable warrior, known for his courage and military prowess. He landed in Palestine in 1191 and quickly captured the strategic port city of Acre. The stage was set for a confrontation between two of the greatest military minds of the age, Richard the Lionheart and Saladin. Section 7. A Clash of Titans. Saladin and Richard at Arsuf. The Battle of Arsuf, fought on September 7, 1191, was a testament to the military skills of both Saladin and Richard. Saladin, attempting to prevent Richard from reaching Jerusalem, launched a series of attacks on the Crusader army as it marched south. Richard, however, maintained his army's discipline, repelling the Muslim attacks. At Arsuf, Richard unleashed his heavy cavalry, shattering the Muslim lines. It was a significant victory for the Crusaders, demonstrating Richard's military genius. However, despite the victory, Richard was unable to capitalize on his success. He had won the battle, but not the war. Section 8. The Impasse. From battles to negotiations. The years following Arsuf were marked by a series of skirmishes and sieges, neither side able to deliver a decisive blow. Richard, recognizing the strength of Saladin's forces and the difficulty of capturing Jerusalem, realized that a military solution was unlikely. Saladin too understood that a protracted war would be costly and inconclusive. He was open to a negotiated settlement, one that would preserve Muslim control of Jerusalem while allowing Christian pilgrims access to the holy sites. The two leaders, though adversaries on the battlefield, developed a grudging respect for each other. They exchanged gifts and even negotiated a truce, during which Richard's brother John married Saladin's niece. Section 9. A King's Ransom, the Treaty of Jaffa. After months of negotiations, Saladin and Richard signed the Treaty of Jaffa in 1192. The treaty recognized Jerusalem as a Muslim city, but it allowed unarmed Christian pilgrims and merchants access to the city. It also returned control of the coastline from Tyre to Jaffa to the Crusader kingdom. The Treaty of Jaffa, though a compromise, was a testament to Saladin's pragmatism. He had secured Muslim control of Jerusalem, the primary goal of his campaigns. The treaty also brought a temporary end to the fighting, allowing Saladin to focus on consolidating his empire. Section 10. Legacy of a Hero, Saladin's Enduring Impact. Saladin, exhausted from years of campaigning, died in 1193, just a year after the signing of the Treaty of Jaffa. He left behind a legacy as one of the most influential figures in the history of the Middle East. He was a brilliant military strategist, a shrewd politician, and a devout Muslim who lived by his principles. His victories against the Crusaders, especially the capture of Jerusalem, made him a legend in the Muslim world. He was admired not only for his military achievements, but also for his chivalry, generosity, and sense of justice. Even his enemies, such as Richard the Lionheart, respected him. Section 11. Conclusion. The enduring legacy of a warrior king. Saladin's story is a timeless one, a tale of ambition, faith, and conflict. He was a man of contradictions, a fierce warrior who valued peace, a ruthless conqueror who showed mercy to his enemies, a devout Muslim who earned the respect of Christians. His life and legacy continue to fascinate and inspire, transcending the boundaries of time and culture. Saladin's impact on the Middle East was profound. He united the Muslim world, revived Islamic power, and left an indelible mark on the political landscape of the region. His capture of Jerusalem, though reversed in later Crusades, remains a pivotal moment in the history of the Crusades and a source of pride for the Muslim world. Centuries after his death, Saladin's legacy endures, a testament to the enduring power of leadership, faith, and the human spirit.